Hi everyone, my name is RamonPang, and today I want to break down the project file for my song Webs. Webs is probably my most popular song right now, and it's actually one of my favorite songs that I've made, like, probably the entire quarantine. It was originally an entry for the bot battle, I believe round 2. It was like the first bot battle I ever entered. Vince by Vince provided the sample, and I just want to give a big shout out to the Bower community. There's so many good producers in there. There's a Bower Discord that I highly recommend joining if you want to up your chops as a producer. Bower streaming on Twitch is incredibly informative and really, like, just I learned so much just through the Bower community and through the stream, and this song definitely would not have been able to even been conceived without the Bower community. So please go check them out. This sample is the starting point of the entire track. Again, sample provided by Vince for the Bower bot battle back in July. Turn it up. So what I did was I decided to incorporate it into a standard trap kind of drum loop. And the drums essentially became the driving force of this track. I'll play the drums and the 808-ish bass line by themselves, and you'll see that it really drives the track. And even though there are crazy samples and crazy chops that kind of come in and out, it's all anchored by the trap snares and the way that the percussion is just constantly moving around and evolving. Yeah, so you'll see there's lots of pockets that occur. There's a lot of fills that happen, most notably like these excursion drum fills that occur. These drum breaks as well. These just have I believe some OTT drum bus processing on them. When you have a lot of drums like this, it helps to compress them, like, especially heavily. When you have like these heavily compressed drums, but also making sure that not too many compressed drums are playing at the same time, or else you might kind of crowd up your mix. But in this case, I was kind of able to get away with it on certain portions. So the 808 is just a serum patch. It's just descending down, and we add a bunch of drum bus and kick tight to it. I love little fills like this. I feel like it adds a lot of character, signifies when the fills are, and just adds a lot of ear candy, I feel like, to the tracks. Yeah, next up we have the melodic elements. I want to start with the harp because people always ask me about this harp. It is a free Contact preset that I found just by Googling concert harp. If you Google free concert harp, then it should show up. I'll link it in the YouTube video if I do find it again. But yeah. Here it is with the drop. Yeah, there's a lot of MIDI that's kind of overlapping over here. I believe, oh, now I remember. What I did was I took the percussion loop, like this part right here, and what I did was I inserted it into this MIDI track, and I converted this to MIDI. And what I did was I ended up adding a bunch of extra notes. And in order to keep it in key, I used this this MIDI effect that forces all the MIDI notes into C sharp minor, because that was the key of the bass line. And it's just really cool that you can take drum beats and pretty much anything, and when you fit it into this C sharp minor key, you can get these crazy, inhuman sounding MIDI patterns. Yeah. And there are other synths that are going on that are mainly just samples. Mainly samples that I've tuned and kind of pitched and quantized to go with the drum beat. So let's play the melodic portions on their own. Yeah, again, apologies for the lag. My MacBook cannot handle large project files while I'm recording. But I hope you get the general gist of the idea. These are just samples that are chopped. They'll be pitched up multiple times. This one, I believe I sped it up. Like, this is what the original probably sounds like. And I literally just multiply the segment BPM by 2. Yeah, and that was the same was probably done for a lot of these other samples in order to create not only melodic variation, but rhythmic variation, because it makes these samples feel a little bit more alive and intentional, even if they are clashing and repeat often. This is just the same flute sample right over here, but most likely reversed. Reversing a sample is a great way of creating a fill, a melodic fill in a track, but it also works with drums. Reversing things, multiplying the BPMs by 2, just great ways of creating variation. A really loud piano sample. So yeah, some of these ARPs are reversed. Yeah. People ask me, what is this flute sample? I have no idea. Just some really standard soft synths. Yeah, this sample, Yeah, this MIDI pattern wasn't really played in at all. Believe it or not, I did this by hand. What I did was I took certain sections of the harp portion and I just tried to create like a bunch of variations, essentially. Variations that I felt matched with the melody or the driving rhythm of the track. It helps that it has a lot of glide too. Yeah. And I believe the last portion is just this pluck right here. I believe this was created with an arpeggiated version of this contact harp. I most likely had chords that I arpeggiated randomly and resampled and created this really long harp section. This is the rest of it if you want to hear what it sounds like. And yeah, I believe that's the whole track. Although there are lots of items going on, there's probably only about like 30 layers-ish, just because I make it sound so busy just by adding tons of variation, essentially. And each part definitely plays a role, but it's definitely all about creating tension and release through variation. Variation is powerful in creating these really long sequences, but sequences that are really long and contrived can sound really like meaningless if you don't add tension. And the way you add tension is by repeating, and looping. For example, on the, with the build-up right here with the harps, it creates tension just by having this same MIDI note the same MIDI pattern that I thought sounded cool. And yeah. And again, if you ever want to create just chaos, feel free again to add in whatever samples you want and convert them to harmony, convert them to melody. You literally never know what could come out of it, and if a part of it catches you, just figure out some way to put it in the track. You know? Yeah, what you see here is essentially just endless tinkering and endless puzzle pieces trying to create these phrases and different variations with different samples. And yeah, that's the track. We'll play it again. Oh, and just as a little bonus, one time on stream I opened up this project file, and I ended up taking these samples and tried to arrange in a cool way. So let's see if I can do like a little jam sesh right here. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. My name is RamonPang, and this is the breakdown of my song Webs. It's available on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, SoundCloud, wherever you stream your music. I'd really appreciate it if you gave this YouTube channel a subscribe, followed me on Twitter, Spotify, whatever. I'm trying to upload a lot more content and like just tutorials for y'all, because I feel like this is the stuff that I wish I had when I was either first starting out, or sometimes all it takes is like a tutorial or seeing like, oh, that's all you do. You know what I mean? To inspire you to think outside the box or get on the right track. And that's all I want to provide to you. So if you have any other questions regarding production or how I write songs, feel free to let me know either in the comments or on a social media message or whatever, and I'll get back to you. Yeah, my name is RamonPang. Thank you once again for watching.